Okay, sorry. So it's a very sensitive switch. I too, I can relate. Same. I too can be turned off with the slightest of things. So the thing this is going to be weird because it sits outside of the rest of the context of the book, but I got really into the movie The Prestige, which is funny. I was talking about the movie backstage with Scott and Jason, and about how there was that bad magic movie that came out at the same time as The Prestige that turned a lot of people off to magic. I, a magic enthusiast, am here to perform magic for you, actually. I'm joking. I don't know any magic tricks. I just watch the, Now You See Me movies. And I'm like, whoa, that's what real life magic is. Anyway, I got really into the movie The Prestige and started writing all these poems about Marvin Gaye and Nikola Tesla at the same time. Because I'm very fascinated by I'm fascinated by Bowie as Nikola Tesla in The Prestige, but also by Nikola Tesla himself, who was pretty fucking wild, you know. He I don't know. Is anyone here a Nikola Tesla enthusiast? Really? Do you know that quote where he was like, I'm obsessed with this quote where he says something like, I'm willing to let those who are not me have the past because the future for which I have really worked is mine. And he died a week later. Which I know that's funny in a lot of ways. That quote fucks me up all the time because he really thought he was on the brink of something. I mean, he was a fucking genius, you know what I mean? But then he just died. And so I think there's something that interests me about both Gaye and Tesla in that they're two opposite poles for me. One was a person who believed they had spent all their genius and spent the last year of their life chasing death aggressively. And the other is someone who felt like they were on the peak of their genius and ready to turn a corner for the entire world, and they just died unexpectedly, or somewhat unexpectedly. Anyway. Does everyone know that machine? Has anyone, if you haven't seen The Prestige, it doesn't matter. But in The Prestige, Nikola Tesla builds a machine that transports him from one place to another. And the famous quote was the magician is or Tesla's have you considered the cost of such a thing? And the magician's money's no object. And Tesla says, yes, but have you considered the cost? The ghost of Marvin Gaye sits inside the shell of Nikola Tesla's machines and builds himself a proper coffin. Shit, where I'm from, all you had to do to make a man disappear was give him the love of a good woman and a little temptation from a bad one. And that ain't a trick of nothing, except two stars snapping their fingers together at the right rhythm, and before you know it, everybody gonna find themselves behind a new curtain. The first funeral is when you sweat through a suit on stage and the women don't even bother screaming. Everything that comes after that is just waiting. I seen the future too once, and wasn't nothing there except a trail of broken hearts calling me daddy. I seen progress and all I got is these empty rooms, but don't let all that begging fool you. I didn't never want any forgiveness or any type of heaven that didn't wash off with a sunrise. In a field somewhere, I imagine all the parts of myself I left behind writhing themselves back together, and that's the trick. You make yourself a god to someone new every night, and then before you know it, you done wrote your own Bible. I was building a grave this whole time, and you all were too drunk on the howling of naked skin to notice, but it takes a man to go home and die. It takes a man to drain the light from his mother's eyes while blood makes the outline of a small boy's hand on her Sunday dress. In this version of the gospel, the flood is already there. In this version, the flood has been there the entire time. In this version, Noah opens the doors to the ark and begs the animals to come inside, but they shake their heads and march into the drowning one by one.